All right, we're continuing on. I think this is number 18, 8, 9, not 20. Number 8, not 18. 8, not 10. Number 8 in Pick 10 Actions Into the Blue, starring Paul Walker, Jessica Alba, Scott Conn, Ashley Scott, Tyson Beckford, with the charm of Robert Redford oozing out my ears, and Josh Brolin. And it's the story of 4 friends who go deep sea diving and discover a ship that goes back to the Revolutionary War? Question mark. It has ties with Lincoln's assassination. It's called the Zephyr. And I also find plain that they think they have found this ship. But they do find this plane that has a bunch of cocaine on it, and that leads to the big problem of the movie, where there's this villain who I've seen before, and what was it, Invasion was the name of the show, and this secret villain that is so obvious, it's not even a twist. And here we go, Into the Blue. Now, a little backstory, as I do. I used to have both this and the sequel, Into the Blue 2. From what I remember, that one was okay. This was the one. Both of those got stolen, so I had bought this from a pawn shop. It's a full screen version. Now, the beginning of this has a widescreen. The beginning and end of this movie are in widescreen, but it doesn't fit the screen widescreen. It's not regular widescreen. It's widescreen full screen. So it's 4.3 plus widescreen of that. Yeah, it's a 4.3 aspect ratio, right? Or 430, whatever, 4.3 aspect ratio. The same aspect ratio as the Snyder Cut, but not in HD, right? Like this, the little box, bars on the side. But then, when it's in widescreen, there's those bars on the side, plus the top, so you get this little thing. So what I had to do was mess with the picture framing on my TV to get it to line up to make a widescreen. And then it fit the whole screen when it went to the 4.3 aspect ratio. So it's really frustrating. And I had to turn off. I like to watch movies with subtitles. But because I had to zoom it in, I couldn't see the subtitles right. So I had to turn them off. But yes, when did this come out? 2003? 2005. So it was in between the Fast and Furious for Paul Walker, right? Cause he did. 2003 was Too Fast, Too Furious. And so after that, he wasn't in one until 2009 when Fast and Furious came out. So, yeah, it was in between. So he plays Jared, and he's got a girlfriend named Sam, played by Jessica Alba. And his friend, whose name I don't care to remember anyway, played by Scott Conn, comes in with his Lady of the Week, basically, played by Ashley Scott, and they go deep sea diving, and they find a plane that contains a bunch of cocaine, and they're like, well, we gotta report this, and then they find something else, a little piece of a ship or something, or a blade or something. It's all messed up with coral or whatever, and it could be, it says, what, Sid Semper Tyrannis, or whatever, the same things that John Wilkes Booth supposedly said when he killed Abraham Lincoln. And they link that to the ship called the Zephyr that disappeared around that time, apparently. And so they think they found it, but in order to claim it, they need to find something that says Zephyr on it. So they have this big metal thing that they can't ever seem to lift out of the way. And then, because we need conflict, we have the Coast Guard show up, and then we have these people who work for someone searching around as well. There's these 2 goons that show up, and they find a hat linking them to another deep sea diving vessel thing owned by Josh Brolin. And I'm sorry, but I remember when I first watched this, all the way back years ago when I first watched this, as soon as Josh Brolin shows up in this movie, I went, he's the bad guy. That's before freaking Thanos. They're like, and I did make a joke because they're talking to him like, "What you searching for?" I'm like, "The Infinity Stones in the water." Had to do it, but he's like I remember first time I watched this, Josh Brolin shows up on that boat, and I went, "He did it. He's the bad guy. It's him. It's him." And then once you're introduced to this drug dealer, played by the guy from Invasion, I don't remember the guy's name, but he's British or whatever, and you're like, yeah, no. It's still going to be Josh Brolin. And it is, because they go back to this guy's boat later. He's dead, and who do they find? Josh Brolin on the boat, because they were working together to sell the coke, but the plane crashed because of a storm, and guy from Invasion was going to, dip out on him, so he was killed by Josh Brolin, and now they want the coke. And I guess they decided Ashley Scott wasn't needed at some point because she just gets killed by a shark, like 3/4 of the way into this film. They're like, we don't need her for the rest of this film, just, write her out. It's just out of nowhere too. Like, she's a part of this. She's one of the main 4 characters, and just like that, after being in this film 3/4 of the way through, shark comes and kills her. After trying to explain at the beginning of this that sharks don't just naturally attack you, they have her killed by a shark. What kind of writing is that? Because Sam, Jessica Alba's character, she's a shark trainer. So she explains, unless you're, hostile with them, they won't be hostile with you. Much like bees and any kind of animal, really. And from what I can tell, there was no hostility. It just attacked her. So it's like they wrote themselves into a corner, and they were like, now, we don't need Ashley Scott for the finale. What do we do? Have her get attacked and killed by a shark. But we said at the beginning of this, who cares? Just do it. Basically. And the twist that Josh Brolin, it was more of a twist that Sam's Coast Guard friend was working for him than it was that it was Josh Brolin behind the whole thing to begin with. It's supposed to be a twist, but it's Josh Brolin. I said this before in other movie reviews, right? If you want to do a twist with the villain, I said this in my original Pokemon Detective Pikachu review, which is no longer up, but I am going to eventually do a review again. But I said this in that review, and I'll have to say it again. If you're going to do a twist with the villain of your film, do not hire someone who looks villainous. In that film, it was Bill Nye. It's obvious he was the villain. And even though, Josh Brolin isn't really known for playing villains, in fact, he's a hero, I think. I've never seen a movie, but I think he's a good guy in No Country for Old Men. He's a sheriff, right? If I remember correctly. And he's been in The Goonies, and he was Jonah Hex. Hate the Day. I'm going to hate the day. And it might be a good movie. Who knows? I bought it because of Megan Fox, and I saw it was PG-13, and I haven't watched it since. I've never seen it. It's like, Megan Fox, ooh-wee, she plays a whore? PG-13? Nah, never mind. Anyway, but it's just something about his presence in this film. The way he acts, the way he presents himself, says, bad guy. Right from the beginning. And the way he looks, too. He's got the long, greasy hair, big bushy mustache, little goatee. No, that says villain to me. Tell him, cut your hair, shave. I know he's supposed to be on a boat or whatever, but come on. It's very obvious. So this is all solved at the end. They have Sam, so Jared and his amigo They set forth the plan. They have Amigo go down to the plane. Scott Connor's character, I don't know his name, so I'll call him Amigo. Amigo goes down to the plane and he destroys half of the coke. So when they get there, he's like, "Well, what is this?" Michael Josh Brolin impersonation. He goes, "That's half your coke, bro, and I'm gonna go destroy the rest of it right now." He jumps in with handcuffs on and goes to destroy the rest of the coke, I guess. And we get this end to this film. Like, stuff goes down. Brolin might have gotten killed or arrested. I don't know. I didn't see that part. But we get an end to this. They go back to get this big metal thing that they tried to raise that says Zephyr on it. They tried to raise it again using this thing. And look, the first time they did it, Amigo had his arm stuck underneath, and that was a problem because they were losing air or whatever. But this time, the winch can't raise it up, apparently. And they're having a problem with the winch. So it breaks and it falls back down. But when it falls down, it hits into a ship or something and unveils the gold. And so Amigo jumps in and comes out, "We got gold! We got gold!" And it ends. That's where it ends. There's no epilogue. It just ends. Now, apparently, they're going to get rich off of this. But I think they should figure out, like, what family Ashley Scott's character has and throw out, don't be like, "Oh, hey, she's dead. There's only 3 of us, right? So we got to split it 3 ways." Split it 4 ways and give her share to her family in her name. Because it's not right that she was just killed off because she wasn't necessary anymore, according to the writers. That's what I think. Plain and simple, they determined that she wasn't necessary for the film anymore because she wasn't really an important character. She didn't really know anyone, and so she was, expendable. She was expendable, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You killed her. It's supposed to be Jason Statham. But yeah, this movie is fun. I'll give it a 7. It's a fun watch. It's not bad. Not bad at all. But it's a fun watch. It's, if you're sick of seeing, he's basically playing, Paul Walker is basically playing Brian O'Connor in the water. Basically what it is. It's the same acting. Jessica Alba in bikini is pretty cool. You get Ashley Scott topless, but it's PG-13, so you don't see anything. Scott Conn smokes a cigar. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything for him. Scott Conn is fun to watch. I like him. In Ready to Rumble, live baby, live baby, live. If you only have one nut left, is it still your left nut? But yeah, it's a fun watch. 7 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Into the Blue? I'm not going to be pulling out another movie because you only got this one. White House Down's the next one. And then Showdown in Little Tokyo. So look for this review at some point. Maybe today. Who knows? But yeah, this should be a fun watch. I like this movie. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.